So April 5th is First Contact Day, okay? Because in April 5th, 2063, is that from Cochrane jumped in the Phoenix and made the first warp trip with Steppenwolf blasting on the stereo, you know. But being that this is also the 25th anniversary of Star Trek First Contact, I'm sorry, what, 25 years? This movie is 25 years old already? That makes me old. I'm sorry, but that makes me old because this movie's 25 years old and I remember when it came out, and I can't even with some of this stuff. Getting old sucks, guys, just so you know. But First Contact, Star Trek, First Contact, is generally received as being the best of the Next Generation movies. Now, I haven't watched Star Trek First Contact in a long time. I went and dusted off. I got the Blu-ray box set of the Next Generation movies. I'm like, okay, let's crack this baby open and have another look, right? I was not prepared for how I received this movie. I don't even remember the last time I actually watched it. But I'm sitting here watching this going, oh my. And because, quite honestly, this movie has not aged well at all. It has not aged well in the slightest. In fact, I'm just sitting here watching this going, what the hell? Why did we think this movie was good? And I say that not to disparage the movie. I mean, 1996, okay, there was a certain vibe going around. Star Trek Next Generation had just ended 3 years prior. Star Trek, Generations was a good movie. I liked Star Trek Generations. I still like Star Trek Generations. I don't like Lursa and B'Etor. I thought they were stupid villains, especially after Star Trek 6 and Christopher, what's his name, as the excellent villain in that movie. But I thought Malcolm McDowell did a fair job, but I'm digressing here, but it was a much more cinematic experience for me anyway. It felt more like a movie. Star Trek First Contact feels like yet another 2-part episode of Next Generation. And I'm no doubt that's because of Braga and Moore and Frakes all involved in producing, directing this. Frakes is directing this, and you have to just sit here and go, oh man. Like I said, though, it was 96, Star Trek Next Generation had just ended. We were still that's what we came to expect from Star Trek Next Generation, so that's what we got, and we loved it. We look at it now 25 years later, and we're like, oh my. So what do I mean by that exactly? Well, let's start with, I don't even know where to start with this. The writing. Let's just start with the writing.
Resistance is futile.
This movie is full of crap, stupid, out of context one-liners that honestly don't belong in this movie. Crap like, assimilate this, Picard coming up out of the hatch, oh, reports of my assimilation have been greatly exaggerated, or some crap like that. And there's a few other ones that are just so cringy, and you just go, what?
But unless you make that warp flight tomorrow morning before 11:15, none of it will happen.
And you people, you're all astronauts on some kind of Star Trek.
Oh, God, you didn't actually say that, did you? I mean, it's... So I was talking about one-liners, right? Yeah, there's a lot of them. They're out of place. They don't make sense. But that's kind of 96. That's what happened. There was so many action movies at the time that was kind of, the Die Hard type of thing. And you could almost say this is Die Hard on the Enterprise to a point. You've got, the Borg Queen, which to me was another cop-out that I didn't really like about this movie. It kind of cheapened the Borg for me. The Borg being this giant hive of brainless automatons that all were just one singular consciousness, right? No, it turns out that there's one little point at the head of this. It's like, okay, well, if we kill the Queen and the whole entire Borg disappears? I don't know. It cheapened the Borg. It made them not quite as scary. Speaking of the Borg Queen, and why I don't like, after watching this movie again, why I really don't like the concept was the scenes with her and Data were so terrible. They're so bad. I mean, number one, the set looks like something from a 1930s Frankenstein movie or something. You got Data strapped to this table, right, with this cheesy ass looking thing with this plasma ball behind his head. And then you get the crappy one-liners like, oh, he puts the skin on his arm, and does the thing, was it good for you? Oh, what? Come on, this is Data. And the whole crap with, talking about how sexually active Data is. It's like, did we really need to go here? I mean, did we? I'm no fan of Brent Spiner, but I'm really not. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just not. But he should have been like, Jonathan, do we really have to do this? Was it good for you? I mean, do we have to? Just so much about this. And then there's the whole Zephram Cochrane thing. I got, at the end, that just reminded me. You've got Prime Directive? What the hell is a Prime Directive, right? They all go down to the surface. Oh, we got to help him get his ship in order. And so they tell him the truth about everything, right? Prime Directive, hello, we're not supposed to be interfering in less civilized, less advanced cultures, right? This is like the definition of that. If we do something stupid and change history, we're all fucked, right? So they're there helping him. You get Geordi and Riker jump seating on the Phoenix during the warp trip. I'm like, what? What if it explodes? What are you going to do then? There's just so much that's wrong with this. So much that's wrong with this movie. Oh, then there's, like I said, I just keep thinking of new stuff here that I remember that is so bad. Then there's the freaking holodeck scene. What was the point of the holodeck scene? I get that we're trying to do the whole thing with Picard and show how he's affected by the Borg, and it's bringing back, past traumas, and he's doing the whole Ahab versus the white whale thing, right? So what, we had to do the whole Detective Dick's storyline in the holodeck with the safeties off so he can bring out the Tommy gun and mow everybody down in a big Rambo scene? Okay, I guess they adapted to the phase modulation of the phaser, that whole silly thing. Yeah, it's always been a silly thing to me. It's like, well, just keep randomizing it. They can keep up, right? I don't know. Sounds good. But yeah, what is the point of this whole holodeck scene? I'm sitting here, they just go into the holodeck. Oh, computer, start the Dix program. What? Why? I don't know. There's, like I said, I'm watching this movie going, oh my God, we loved this movie? Why did we love this movie? I can't even. Something else. Oh, yes. So, also, and this occurred to me, and it's like, why did this even happen? There's a couple of scenes where it's made clear that Zephram Cochrane and Lily, who gets, beamed up to the ship and freaks out and does that whole thing, were in some sort of relationship. Right now, far be it from me to point out the obvious that Zephram Cochrane is a white man and Lily's a black woman. It's been, like I said, a couple of points that they were hinted at that there's some kind that they are together in some way. But it's generally swept under the rug, and you have to sit there and go, why? Are we trying to just not address that at all? I mean, do we need to address it? I don't know. It's Roddenberry, Star Trek. We could just be like, yeah, that's cool. Who cares? I don't. But it seemed to be an overt effort to not address it. It was like, yeah, we'll just separate them early on, and then when they get reunited, we'll be like, oh, yeah, hi, how you doing? Yeah, nice to meet you again. That didn't seem quite right to me. Maybe I'm just reading too much into it. Maybe I'm being woke and a social justice warrior and all that garbage. I don't know. But the point is that this movie, we'd like to sit here and go, oh my God, First Contact was the best of those Next Generation movies. And yeah, you know what it might be? It's not Insurrection, thank God, because that thing is a festering pile of garbage. And honestly, I haven't watched Nemesis recently enough to even remember details about it. I just know Romulan clone of Picard. That's all I remember. I haven't seen that movie in forever. Maybe I need to dust that one off next and see if it's just as bad as this one. Insurrection, I'll just forget that two-parter ever even happened. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, but I say that. We put this movie on a pedestal, and this is where I'm getting at. We put that movie on a pedestal. It's not that good, but it's still not entirely terrible. I mean, it's like sex, right? Even though it's not that good, it's still pretty good. It's Star Trek, right? Even when it's still Star Trek. It's still Picard and Data and Geordi and Riker. And yeah, it's still all of them. We still love them. We still watch it and go, yes, it's Star Trek. Even though it's got its flaws, even though it's got its problems, we still love you. Screw these guys. Think everything new is bad. Everything old was not that good either, guys. Stop putting Kirk and Picard up on some kind of pedestal here. This, we need to look at this stuff critically and go, yeah, it really wasn't that good. It did not age well. That said, I'm still going to go as high as rating this a 3.4. Now you're sitting here going, wait, you just crapped all over this movie and you're rating it in the mid threes? Yes, I am. Because, like I said, it's still Star Trek. For the time, it was a good movie. And it fits into the entire Star Trek universe in a certain way that, yes, it's a 3.4 out of 5 movie. I don't know if I can explain that any better than that. It's not terrible. There's parts of it where you're sitting here going, what? I mean, there's another part where they have to eject the deflector dish, right? Because the Borg are out there mechanically, making some changes, and they have to go manually unlock 3 of these things to eject this dish that they're gonna need later. I don't know, maybe they can just replicate a new one. I don't know. But it's like, yeah, we're gonna need this thing later, man. Yeah, maybe. Well, let's eject it and blow it up. Yeah. When you stop and think about it, you just go, ooh, wait, okay. I think the bar has been raised significantly in the last 25 years as far as sci-fi and the stories and the way things are told. Some people like it, some people don't. I think it depends. Star Trek First Contact, a nice little bookend on, Star Trek The Next Generation. It is what it is because it's Star Trek The Next Generation. It's still the best of the movies. I think I have to watch Nemesis again, but be sure. But I think that one had a lot of the same issues, the one-liners, the cheesy whatever. Yeah, 3.4 out of 5. I'm probably not going to change your mind about Star Trek First Contact, but I changed my own mind about it. I had this picture in my head of what I remember this movie being, and that just got totally blown out of the water when I watched this again. Because it's been a while, and I'm sitting here and I'm trying to watch it critically. I'm not trying to just be a Star Trek fanboy at that point. And I'm going, oh, well, yeah, okay. That's about all I got to say about that. If you like this video, please consider throwing us a subscribe. Give this video a like. Hit that little bell so you know when I got a mouse in my pocket here. So when I put out new videos, you'll see those too. Plus it helps YouTube say, hey, people are watching this. Show it to other people. I much appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Thank you.